All right, everyone. So we are back, and I had the pleasure of interviewing my next guest, who, man, I met Josh probably about a year ago, I want to say. And at first, I'm like, man, who's this dude, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like the alpha energy in the room, no pun intended. But when I tell you, like, I had the pleasure of really like being educated as far as like who this guy is, the moves he's making, and it's like, yo, if it means anything to him, I would like to say face to face, proud of the moves that you're making. But after hearing his story, I hope you guys will be too. Without further ado, my man Joshua, come on up, man, from Digital C. The CEO of Digital C. Hold on, wait. I don't feel like that. Hold on, have a seat. All right. Boom. Guys, when I say the CEO of Digital C, I mean like this. All of this guy. Can we get a round of applause real quick? All right, let's do it.
Man, this is lovely. I like it. Thank you for doing this here at the Midtown Tech High.
There we go. Listen, bro, like you have accomplished a lot in a little bit of time, man. So, you know what? First, can you introduce yourself a little bit, man? I did the best.
You did it. So yeah, Joshua Edmonds. I'm the CEO of Digital C. So Digital C, we are in the headquarters right now at the Midtown Tech High. We're the only internet provider headquartered here. About me, longtime Cleveland resident. I recently moved back though from the city of Detroit, where I worked for the mayor out there for about 4 years. Led to work in all things technology, infrastructure, technology partnerships, all that was under me. I became CEO of Digital C in November of 2022. And ever since then, been really figuring out, one, how to take entrepreneurial principles. So a lot of times, like, I will surround myself with entrepreneurs, but an entrepreneur, we go into organizations, we transform them in much of a way that an entrepreneur would too. And so I constantly have to surround myself with people who think outside the box, because if I don't do that, well, then all of a sudden we don't really succeed the way that we need to. And so I just enjoy the company, people like Jay, and then honestly, just even venues like this. And one of the big goals for what we're doing, even aside from connecting people to the internet, is just connecting people, period. And so any way that we're able to facilitate connections, I learn from that, but I hope other people can learn from me too. And we can get into that more too.
Dope. So let's just kind of like dive into the deep ends. What's Digital C?
Digital C, we are a nonprofit. So we are one of the only nonprofit internet service providers in the country, if not the world. And what we're actually seeking to do is build out a citywide network. Again, I mentioned we're the only internet provider headquartered here. I know one of the only Black-led internet for service providers in the world too. And our service is $18 a month. And that price point is special because we're actually price locked to that for the decade. So for the next 10 years, we're at $18 a month. We can't change that price. So for all the people who say, man, every 6 months, man, my bill changes, we can't. That's signed legislation that we received a contract from the city of Cleveland. I think it's important to note that story too, because so I grew up in the church. My dad was a minister, and he also led, he played the organ and the keyboard, so I was in the church all the time. And the story of Joshua was one thing that actually came up a lot. And even the story of David too, because we were in the land of Goliaths last year. Like not a lot of people know like how trying last year was for us as an organization, because the contract that we won was a $20 million contract from the city of Cleveland. But that came with $30 million matching. So it was a lot of money that we were able to raise last year. But a lot of people didn't want us to get that money. They wanted to send that money to AT&T, to Spectrum, to Verizon, to T-Mobile. They all bid, but so did we. And we were the only one, we came out on top. And to be able to come out on top, surrounded by all those Goliath companies, to be in us, that's the canoe to all these battleships. And what we had to figure out was a way to, one, I had to trust my own leadership. Like that was a new thing too. I'm like, no, I had to trust myself, but I also had to inspire the team too, because there were times when like people threw rocks at us, and that wasn't easy to navigate that. But being able to just go to a special place, it then forged a unique identity where we have to be bold, we have to be audacious, because if we're not, then those other Goliaths are going to smash us. And so our whole job right now at Digital C is building community. So that way, if someone ever tries to hit us again, well, now you're hitting the entire community. And so it's building community, it's building trust, it's building relationships. And the internet, again, is one part of the business. The other part, we do digital literacy and skilling training. We go out to nonprofits, community groups, community meetings. We will provide, it's really a lot of times it's seniors, but not just seniors, residents with actual digital skilling curriculums. We'll teach them how to navigate the web. If they want to convert a Word file to a PDF, stuff like that, we'll teach them that. Teach them how to create a resume. We do all those things online because what good is the internet without those skills? And then the other part of the business, Chef Stacy, she's in the room somewhere with the Hive Cafe. We also do that here too. That's something that we were able to open up. And, every now and then we're gonna have another operator coming in. And our whole thing is how do we unlock even healthy food options here within the city of Cleveland too. So we're doing a lot, but the internet is the primary business, but that's all preceded by the people.
Hey, come on, round of applause for that, man. All right, so amongst other things that you guys have going on, I know you mentioned the kitchen. Was the food good, y'all? Did y'all enjoy the food?
Yeah.
There we go.
Did y'all eat it? Man! I thought it was delicious.
Dude, you said a mouthful because what I didn't realize, I worked for AT&T for years, right? And what I didn't realize was how much wiggle room there was within that price structure. And when you guys broke it down, which I will ask you to do now, as far as how you got to that $18 a month mark, because I don't think that we really think about it when we're looking at our bills. And then I want to give you guys a play to save even more money outside of that. But Josh, if you could kind of go into like that part of it for us real quick.
So the $18 was something that I inherited. The reason why I'm going to say that, Digital C first became an internet provider in about 2018. It started building out the network. 2019, it connects its first customer. So at that time, they offered services at $18 a month. Because what they did was they did a feasibility study and said, what is feasible for people to pay? But not for everybody that might be in this room. It's more so for the people who just don't have anything. They're like, man, I feel don't have anything. What could we do at the lowest point of sustainability where we, a business, can still function? What is that figure we can come up with? And that was $18. And so it is funny that 18 times 12 is 216, so it's 2 and 6. So 18 does get some Cleveland recognition here. But we didn't do it from the branding standpoint. We branded that after the fact. But it was really looking at a threshold of what people could actually afford if they just didn't have anything. Now, that being said, when we submitted the request for a proposal for the city, we put in that price point. The city jumped at that because Spectrum, AT&T, and all the other ones, they're like, we're not gonna do 18. Like, for 10 years? Oh, no. We'll do $30 and we'll do it as long as there's another subsidy. As soon as that goes away, no, it's about to be $50 or $60 because they're a big business. They need to figure out how they're gonna keep the lights on nationally. So we were able to contour in a local fashion the way that the national ones can't, and that's why we landed on 18, and now we're stuck with that contract with $18. From a business standpoint, yes, I wanted to do more. I wanted to do 30. But again, we agreed to 18, so we're committed to 18, so everyone in Cleveland is going to get it for $18.
Yo, one time for $18. So now another aspect of that is understanding like how your bill is actually structured and all the wiggle room and all that stuff. But we can get into all of that stuff. But it's really like understanding that even in your own individual business structures, realize where there's a gap in a window of opportunity. It may seem like you're taking a hit on the front end, but you're actually getting a blessing on the back because you're going to generate more customers. You're going to get more, more traction, and your price point will be just that much more appealing for a lot of people, right?
So even on that note, there is something to flag, and actually Dr. Bastian at Tri-C, he's one of my mentors, he taught me this, and he was like, always use what you have, whatever you have, whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's a stain on your shirt, make it look like art, like whatever it is, use it, because everything can be a story, everything can be flipped. And so on the $18 part, yeah, you're right, like I wanted it to be more expensive, I did. But at the same time, we created such a unique value proposition that we went where no one else could go. And so it's like, okay, but how do you turn that around? So whatever you might have lost and the revenue that you wanted to generate, what could you generate over here? What is that customer base now that you get to get? What are those stories that you get to unlock as someone having $18? You're unlocking opportunity for maybe that mother or whomever where $18 actually works for them, and had we went to 30, we would have never got them. And so it just orients everything that we do, whatever it is, whatever perceived slight that we think it is, orienting our mindset and adopting that attitude for gratitude and using what we have, and $18 is a part of that narrative.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, so I want to get into, we talked about the business, and the business is cool, but I want to talk about the man behind the business, because most of the people here are CEOs, they own their own business, and they're doing their own thing, right? I want to talk about like the mindset side of it, in which, like you said, coming into managing a team as a new CEO and things like that. Like, what was like getting prepared to stand in front of them? Because I was at the press conference that you guys did, and I'm like, yo, he killed it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like 20 other speakers before you. I'm like, listen, you barely made the cut, because I was like, yo,
barely,
like 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, I'm about to do, right? But no, like after hearing you speak, I'm like, yo, homie really onto something. But can you talk about like just the mindset that you have to adapt when managing other people, and what that looks like? Because we all want to be the CEO until it's time to tell some bad news.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like, deal with tough situations. Yeah. So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So they did a national search to find me for this role. And admittedly, I always tell people, my mom works downtown. She works for Sherwin-Williams. They could have I would have came back for that. Like, if my mom said, hey, can you do this? So I'm like, we wasted money on a national search, but I had to go through about 6 rounds of interviews for this role. And I told them every single time that I don't have maybe the superior network engineering experience that a network engineer would have. I don't have the experience of, decades of being a CEO and how to run and build teams and do digital transformation stuff. I don't have any of those things. I have a baseline for it, but I don't have that. I'm getting it now. But what I promised them was I would bring them certainty. That in everything that I would do, I would be so certain, because that was my gift. And so certainty is something that, if you look at the council table and the council hearings last year, there's plenty of hours, and there's 9 hours of us getting grilled, essentially. That was me being certain. I was certain on everything that we were saying. I was certain on every step that we would do, on everyone that we fired. We did fire a lot of people. I was certain on every single one of those. And so the thing for me is being certain in all of our dealings. Now, I'm not saying certainty has to be binary and that you're uncertain or certain. I think it's actually a spectrum of certainty. And that when you yourself are aligned and rooted, certainty can flourish there. And so everything that I do, everything that I try to do, or I try to say, it comes with a degree of certainty where I'm not, double-minded, where I'm not overthinking or rendering myself to analysis paralysis where I overthink things. And I think that so often when we are at this pinnacle of execution, where we're thinking, contemplating, feeling, about to pull a trigger, sometimes we overthink and we miss. And it's like, no, we don't have time for that. Shoot it, shoot it. And if you miss, shoot it again, shoot it again. And that approach has empowered me, and subsequently has empowered the team that's around me, where we're able to move and execute in ways that I think everyone is punching above their weight class, and they're a bit surprised by themselves. I'm not surprised by what my team is contributing, but I can see it in them. They're like, man, we're doing all this. From January to now, we have coverage of over 20,000 households. Now, the reason why that number is significant is because in the older iteration of Digital C, it took them years, about 3.5 years, to get coverage for 23,500. So what we did in 1 quarter is what Digital C before did in about 3.5 years. And so the amount of growth that we've been able to do, that comes from us being certain in our decisions, and we're sticking to that. And so it requires me to remain rooted and foundationally aligned to who I am, and not being able to stray from that, because the minute I do, I lose my certainty, and now I am then reneging on something that I promised I would do on behalf of this organization and obviously this city.
Yo, one time for being sure. and I'm sure that in those moments, you know what I'm saying, it's like, yo, you know what? it gotta work or it gotta work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset that as entrepreneurs and those people who are daring enough to chase that dream and to do that thing that, you know, is passionate and close to us, we have to be certain, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you know what, is this the thing? Let's go. Let's go. It gotta work or it gotta work. Can we say that one time? It gotta work or it gotta work?
Gotta work or gotta work.
Come on, man. Listen. So, as we kind of like conclude this thing, like, what's on the horizon for Digital C? Because I see you checking off the boxes faster than we can write the line.
So, I would say that there's a few things. One, we said we wanted to build bigger and bolder, audacious partnerships. And so everybody that's in this room, we'd love to figure out a way to partner. Because again, there's opportunity everywhere. A lot of times it's dormant, but it's like that's on us to figure out. You know, our first love is Cleveland. We care about Cleveland. So if you love Cleveland, come on, Richard. Come on, Richard. Richard the people's champ, man. So if you love Cleveland, we love Cleveland. And the beautiful thing about that's a shared value. And from relationships, businesses, personal, whatever, once those values are aligned, then we can walk together. So as long as you all love Cleveland, we're never going to stop loving Cleveland either. And so the big thing for us, we want bolder, more audacious partnerships. If we don't know how to partner today, we're going to figure it out. And so as we even do these events here, we break down the C's in Digital C. First C is all about community, because that's where it starts. That's what we care about, community. The second C, connectivity. We're a full-fledged internet service provider, our own in-house network engineering team. We do our own installations. Connectivity matters to us. Culture. You are in a space that celebrates culture. We want more of that. Collaboration, obviously that's a partnership. We do it all for Cleveland. And so those are the 5 C's that are our guiding principles. That's our vision. That's what we're enacting on. So we need bolder partnerships. Even our service will expand at some point beyond the city of Cleveland. We'll never lose sight of Cleveland, but we're going to expand beyond, because Cleveland isn't the only city with the digital divide. As we look at the nation, there's a profound opportunity for us to scale our company, to be a national company, and potentially one day a global company. And I don't say potential without, I just say potential because I know mergers and acquisitions are a thing. So regardless, there's a global vision, but we're enacting it locally, and we're committed to building bold and audacious partnerships with everybody in this room and even people extended beyond this room.
Come on, round of applause for that. I'm going to add another C to that, and we're going to say council, because President's Council.
Yeah.
We can figure out something.
No, we're members.
There we go. So there we go. I got to teach you the new handshake we came up with too.
Oh.
So we can talk about that. So, but no, bro, I just want to, it's a pleasure to partner with you guys on these first Saturdays and really like take it to another level, but it's also a blessing to see the work that you guys are actually doing. You're not talking about it. You're actively collaborating. I see it. You got the Third Friday pull-ups. You have just so many different innovative, events going throughout the building, because it's important for us to see people like yourself that looks like us, walk like us, talk like us in these roles, because now it gives us something else to aim for. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I don't care if you own your own business. Yo, think local, then global.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Local spelled with a K. L-O-K-U. But think local, then global, because it is possible. It's possible. It's all possible. And this young man is showing it. You know what I mean? So one more time for Joshua Edmonds. Thank you.